good. We're good. Okay, everyone, I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Board of Trustees to order. Board meeting will be broadcast on Facebook Live. The meeting can be attended in person, and trustees, staff, and the public must pre-screen before entering the board office. I'd like to start by acknowledging that we are signatories of Treaty 5 and that we reside in the traditional territory of the Nisatchaway Cree Nation, and we're all treaty people. With that, can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda? Trustee Cripps? Oh,
an item to the
so we need the motion for the agenda first. But Trustee Cripps has moved, Trustee Anderson has seconded. Now, do we have any changes?
Great, thank you. I'd like to add an item to the appointment of auditor for the school year of 2022 to 2023.
Okay, Trustee Cripps is moving. Do I have a seconder? Vice Chair Tomaszewski. Any questions? All those in favor of approving the agenda as amended? Aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. And with that, adoption of the minutes from our last meeting, which was actually June the 14th. Are there any additions or changes? Or sorry, first, can I have a mover and a seconder, please?
So moved.
Trustee Oliveira, Trustee Anderson. Do we have any questions or amendments? All those in favor of approving the minutes? Aye. Motion is carried. We have no delegations and presentations. Business from the previous board meeting. We have the trustee indemnity bylaw, second reading. Can I get a mover, please?
Also move. I'll second.
Trustee Tucker, Vice Chair Tomaszewski. And just to repeat it, whereas Section 56(1) to 3 of the Public Schools Act provides the school board may by bylaw pay an annual and additional indemnity to the chairperson to each trustee and reimburses trustees elect or employees for expenses necessary incurred while attending conventions or carrying out duties assigned or approved by the school board, and at such rates and under such conditions as the board may determine. The bylaw received first reading June 14, 2022. Anyone have any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion is carried. And now we repeat the process for third reading. Can I have a mover and seconder, please? Vice Chair Tomaszewski, Trustee Oliveira. Bylaw is still the same. Any questions?
I think we already did this.
We did the first reading. This is, yeah. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Superintendent of Human Resources and Policy report.
I submitted a written report. As you can see, there was a great deal of hiring that happened from the 14th of June right up until the very, very bitter end. I have to say that by far of all the years I've been in office, this was the most challenging. Spent a lot of time this summer doing a lot of cold calling to find, I don't know if it's COVID or what the situation was, but it was difficult this year. So I'm relieved that we are staffed and ready to roll, but it came down with the wire, there's no doubt. I guess I had one other thing I'd like to highlight before I get onto some of the resignations that we had. I was involved with the pre-election information session. Myself and the city manager, Anthony McGinnis, hosted one on August 30th. I'll be frank, it wasn't extremely well attended, so we are doing another one tomorrow. It'll be here in this room tomorrow at 7 o'clock for anybody interested in that's interested in becoming either a city councillor or a trustee. There's a lack of interest, you guys, so we need to really kind of promote that. Just for items that are on the agenda for the meeting tomorrow that myself and Anthony will go through is just like key dates, contacts, qualification of candidates, registration, nominations, what happens after nominations close, what your responsibilities are, campaign finance rules, and some bylaws. Anthony deals with the responsibilities of the elected officials from the city council perspective, the role of the city manager, the role of the mayor. I will do the role of the superintendent, the role of the trustee chairperson, the role of trustees, and then we basically have a question period. So if any of you folks know of somebody who's kind of maybe considering it, or if there's anybody in the public who's considering it, tomorrow's a very informative night and kind of gets you an idea of the responsibility and the role in terms of public service. So. All right, and I had 2 resignations. Over the summer, Amanda Nisi submitted her letter of resignation effective July 22nd. She'd been employed as a teacher at Westwood School since 2013, as well as Lisa Ewan submitted her letter of resignation effective July 22. Ms. Ewan had been employed as a Cree bilingual teacher at Wapanak since 2019. And that's all I have. Are there any questions? Okay.
How many teachers?
How many teachers?
Yeah.
That were hired from June 14th till now? No, that entire list. So there's 19.
I just signed it. I didn't count.
19. So yeah, it was, it was
Pretty few for the last minute.
Yeah, from June 14th. There were some that were internal transfers and have you, but yeah, it was challenging. Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure I was stressed, not probably as stressed as the principal of a school who's going to go there and show up on September, first day of school without a grade 1 teacher. So I can well imagine everybody was feeling the grind a little bit. So.
Any other questions?
Did they have those, like things that you go to where you meet teachers? And
Yes,
stuff?
but they were all virtual. Like I had attended the one at the University of Manitoba virtually. I had attended one through the virtual kind of Education Canada Bank that we do. It just, I don't know. I don't think it's as effective.
Yeah,
It's really, yeah. I mean, it's easier to sell when you're there in person and really, just talking to people and having that opportunity. And when you're on virtually, like when you're at an actual fair, people are walking by, you could call them to your booth. When you're in a virtual fair, they're joining your virtual booth. So sometimes I had a bit of dead time at the recruitment fairs because I was waiting for someone to come into my chat room, basically.
For sure.
So, certainly. But like I said, we are staffed now, so. Yeah, I just hope that I don't have any long-term leaves because then things become even more challenging, yes. But
Superintendent of Educational Services and Programming.
I've submitted my report, activities over the summer. I guess I want to just start by saying welcome back to everybody. I hope that everybody had a relaxing summer and they were able to rejuvenate. I know that we've only been back a few days, but it seems that everybody has hit the ground running. So I just want to thank all the staff for that. So we've had a couple of meetings. We had one with Public Health and Manitoba Education. And the message that we were given at that meeting was that all schools are in person, in class for all staff and students. There's a full return to school, including all the events and all the extracurricular activities. So one of the first activities that we will be hosting is the grade 9 luncheon at Artie Parker on September 29th. And this is a chance for all of our grade 8 students to have lunch together. Our elementary school teachers, counselors, admin will go and do a check-in, and then our grade 9 teachers will also attend. So we haven't been able to do that for the last 2 years, so we're looking forward to that. We have our Meet the Teacher events will be happening in person, and all the schools have dates. They are available on our calendar, but if people are wondering, just check out. All the schools are sending out their weekly memos, so that's back in person. The only date I want to change is on our list here. We have Wapanak Community School for September 15th. They changed their date to the 14th, so it's actually tomorrow. The message that we received from Public Health was that, again, just reviewing what we've been doing in the past, and that's monitoring daily for signs and symptoms of COVID, staying home when sick, washing your hands frequently, practicing respiratory etiquette, cleaning and disinfecting routinely, encouraging vaccinations, respecting people's mask choice, and having plans in place if your child becomes sick at school. Rapid antigen tests are available at every school, plus we have some here if anybody needs them. And we do have a supply of masks, but people are encouraged to bring their own masks. So those are the updates from Manitoba or MESL and from Public Health. For us, our priorities are going to be re-engaging students and getting them back into school. Attendance is definitely going to be a priority. We need to boost our attendance. We need kids in school. Mental health and well-being will be a focus, as well as responding to literacy and numeracy needs. We also are encouraging parents and caregivers to get involved with parents' advisory councils, and I believe that there'll be some sign-ups at the Meet the Teacher. So we need parents to get involved, to be informed. Last year we piloted the Elders and Knowledge Keepers program in 3 of our schools, and now funding has been announced so that we can continue on that path, as well as the district's Mino Pimatiswan program will continue at Burntwood and Juniper. And at Burntwood and Juniper, we have secured the staff that were there last year. So we're very thankful that the 2 Kukums have agreed to stay on for this year. Respect in School has to be completed by all staff by February 28th. And there is a separate program for coaches. So if you're a teacher and you're going to coach, you have to do both. And all of our volunteer coaches have to complete that Respect in Sport. We did give a half a day for staff to complete that program at the beginning of the school year. So they have to send in their certificates and we can attach those to their folders, as well as I believe the province is monitoring who's completing the programs. This year we've enrolled in the Manitoba Rural Learning Consortium, and this is new for the North. There's always been a Manitoba Rural Learning Consortium in the South, but it's been really hard for us to access, but they have dedicated time to the North. They're actually going to come to the North for some of the programming, and some of it will be virtual. So for us, we're looking at the K-3 reading, our numeracy achievement, so that'll be for grade 5 and 6, as well as grade 9. And then we're looking at the instructional administration, and that's for our principals and vice principals, just to revisit and look at instructional leadership. So we will have our sign up by this Friday. I'll send that into the consortium. So that's happening. And just I have listed some of the meetings that are coming up, and that's my report.
Any questions?
I'm wondering if you could just briefly speak to Mile 20 activities.
So Mile 20 will be happening starting on the 19th. That's the Monday, is a setup day, and we do have a schedule, and I didn't bring the schedule. So what is happening is first day will be set up, and there'll be some training with the UCN practicum pre-service teachers and early childhood. So they'll learn some of the practices, and then the next 2 days we have our grade 5 students that will be going up for the day, and the UCN students will be also working with our students. And then there is an adult day, I believe, on Friday, and that's a continuation of the fall ceremonies. So we're invited there. Like, we're always guests. It's the elders who set the dates and then invite us. So
Okay.
yeah.
Are all the schools separate? Like, do the junior school goes one day and?
No, what we've done is we fill 2 buses. So whoever can fit, excuse me. So we have 1 school this year that won't be participating, but and it's Juniper, but that school has participated every other year, so this will be their off year. So, but they'll do other land-based activities within the school year.
Thank you.
Secretary Treasurer's report.
Circulated within your packages were our check registers for the summer. For the month of June, accounts payable of $2,663,362.33 were processed. Our teacher payroll of $2,549,250.35, and non-teaching payroll of $991,979.69 were processed. Included in the accounts payable payroll amounts, the payroll-related expenditures was $1,750,484.21. At this time, my recommendation is that the expenditures for June 2022 in the total amount of $6,204,592.37 be approved.
Can I have a mover and second, please? Trustee Oliveira, Trustee Cripps, any questions? All those in favor? Aye. The motion is passed.
For the month of July 2022, accounts payable of $2,372,986.61 were processed. Teacher payroll of $1,926,256.67, and non-teaching payroll of $624,588.99 were processed. The recommendation is the expenditures for the month of July 2022 in the total amount of $4,923,832.27 be approved.
Trustee Oliveira. Trustee Tucker, any questions? Feels like we blew through 25% of the budget in 2 months.
Right?
Yes, summer is not a quiet time at the board office.
No.
For the month of August, accounts payable of $2,477,980.36. Teacher payroll of $1,736,283.38. And non-teacher payroll of $375,487.81 were processed. Included in the August accounts payable related to payroll is $1,851,231.73. At this time, I'm recommending the expenditures for August 2022 in the amount of $4,589,751.55 be approved.
And mover and seconder, please. Vice Chair Tomaszewski and Trustee Tucker. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. The motion is carried. That new business, it's also money.
Oh, we have a provincial borrowing promissory note, note number LTPS 0557, related to Artie Parker Collegiate. The school district of Mystery Lake will receive a long-term promissory note, LTPS 0557, dated September 30th, 2022, in the amount of $5,253,000 for provincial borrowing, made up of the approved project support for Phase 1 of the Artie Parker Collegiate Major Addition and Renovation and Boiler Replacement Tender. The tender award related to the project number MYRDP MA20201. Recommendation at this time is that the promissory note LTPS 0557, dated September 30th, in the amount of $5,253,000 be approved. And the attached paperwork was sent subsequent to the agenda circulation once we received from the province.
Can I have a mover and seconder, please? Trustee Cripps, Vice Chair Tomaszewski, any questions?
I'm interested in what the major addition is. Is that the band?
There's the band room is a small portion of it. The major renovation is the exterior envelope upgrade occurring on the west side. The replacement of the boiler heating system to electrical, as well as the roof replacement above the gym that's in need of extensive repair at this time. That's the Phase 1.
Do we have like a picture or something that we could put somewhere so people can see it?
We have some structural drawings.
Just so people know what's
What's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The design drawing was
Yeah.
pretty. It'd be worth throwing that on the website or the Facebook page.
Yeah,
Because there's still a lot of people that know we're putting a banner and have no idea what it's gonna look like.
And, I mean, the banner is really, it's a significant piece and it actually, it's lovely. But I mean, there's some other, like, I mean, they're gonna bump out probably where the home ec area is, all of that.
all the windows are being replaced. It's similar to what's occurring at Riverside and Deerwood School when they call it an envelope upgrade. It's the entire removal of the existing insulation and the siding on the outside.
Will
to
that
bring-
extend the cosmetology?
There's no other extension on the building. It's just going to be, it's called daylighting, the changing of windows and insulating the walls. When we had opened up some of the elementary schools, there was none. So that's all going to help. As well as this is phase one of the project, but once the boiler and the heating systems are swapped over, we have issues in high school right now where it's extreme heat or extreme cold, and it's very difficult to regulate those rooms. So that is going to be addressing this issue as well. But I will get some of the drawings and projections for the
Basically, almost
website.
every square inch of the outside of the high school gets replaced.
Yes. Yeah.
And if they skin it the way they were planning to, it should look pretty sharp.
Awesome.
We're seeing a great deal of recovery in the effects from Deerwood and Riverside School with respect to energy savings. That's allowed us, even with this period of rising costs and rising heating costs, we're not seeing that because of the savings that we've got in the energy just from insulating.
Really?
So
It's significant.
with the two-story building, it will be significant. It's a large project. I mean, they're putting a lot of money for province. This project is $12.8 million for the phase one that was awarded, but
Do you need a separate engineer to look after this boiler room?
yes, so the province identifies the project consultants. Stantec is the consultant and project management overseeing all of it. They consult with the school district, but truly the province and Stantec are running the project, and Penco Construction is the major contractor on site.
But once it's done, I know larger
Oh.
facilities, they have a power engineer.
Engineer, yeah,
after
no.
those,
No, because we'll be replacing all of the boilers the boiler is going to be replaced with electrical heating. So the issue we're having right now with aging valves and swapping out building equipment that was from the 50s and the 60s is going to help move us into this new century, I guess.
Sustainability.
Yeah.
And this will obviously have to be done in the summer, right?
They are to start some of the directional drilling, and that is to begin this week. The locating of the lines that is occurring in front of the school, you may see some flags and that as you drive by that are already doing line locates, and they're working closely with the city to, as they're looking at directional drilling possibly close to the Broadway, and that the kickoff meeting occurred at the end of August. Site meeting will be coming up in the next week or two, and we'll be starting to see a laydown area be developed, and they're wanting to get some of the project work started, providing we have good weather, end of September, beginning of
We've had
October.
discussions with contractors with regards to, I mean, there being, multiple construction individuals on site while we have school running, so we've kind of got some parameters and some guidelines in place for that.
Yeah.
So just because I did this wrong once before, have we actually passed this motion yet?
No, we have a mover and a seconder, we're just speaking.
Good. All those in favor?
Aye.
The motion is carried. Because it is bad when you forget that.
Was this tonight, you mean?
Pardon?
You did that tonight, you know?
No, I did it right every single time so far. It was a different meeting that I completely screwed that up. We talked so much we forgot to vote.
Oh,
That it for that? Everyone's read the material. Then we're into correspondence. My computer is still not working, so all the careful notes I made beforehand are gone. So I'm gonna do this from memory.
Did you want them?
Yes, actually, that would be handy. Thank you.
you're welcome.
And I guess the key one in terms of Manitoba School Board Association is it's not just us that are putting the word out that it would be good to have trustees running, but province-wide, there seems to be a reduction in the number of incumbents seeking to return, as well as new candidates expressing interest. And so there's a fairly large number of school divisions, especially in rural areas, expressing concern as to whether enough they will actually have enough candidates to field the board. So the association is both recognizing why after COVID and Bill 64 that might be a thing, but also pointing out that we still do need school boards and we still do need people interested in running them. So if anyone out there is thinking about it, now would be about the year to do it.
I think you have till the 20th of September to file papers.
Yeah. And it's probably worth noting that it's up to each trustee to announce their own intentions, but I know I'm not planning to run again. And I think that several other trustees are in a similar position. So we probably have more openings in terms of non-incumbent opportunities than there would normally. Quite often if you're running against incumbents, it's viewed as more difficult. Well, there'll be fewer than this time. Yes?
I believe at this time of the 7 positions, there's been 4 papers picked up.
That's from the chief, that's from the electoral officer.
That's pretty good. Quorum.
Well, I'm afraid of it. I think Flin Flon is routinely had to appoint. The pause word that they may have to appoint. It's,
Yeah,
even if you don't run, you can still get tagged.
We're kind of a last minute community in a lot of things.
Yeah, I can understand the paper's not being filed. Paper's not being picked up is more of a concern.
Yes.
And some people do, they hold that kind of information close to their chest before they actually say, okay, I'm in the running here, but
Yeah.
there's, I mean, again, I've been involved with doing the pre-election information night for the last probably 3 or 4 terms. And yeah, by far this one was the least attended. I'm hoping that it was timing, maybe because we had it before the long weekend, and I mean, both Anthony and I just resided to the fact that, you know, if we'll have it on the 30th, if we need to have another one, we'll have another one. And it was very evident very early in the process that we were going to have to host another one.
And that session is probably everyone's best opportunity to find out the things they absolutely need to know to run. But anyone seeking additional information, the MSBA website has some very good information on for candidates considering, including what the actual role of a trustee is, which is a handy thing to understand before you run.
Absolutely. I just find this interesting because our region has always had a high number. Compared to the rest of the province, we've always had a high number of people running. You know, all of a sudden, school boards are always so impressed. You know, we have 11 people, and they're like, what? You know, so I sure hope that there's a whole, I've been pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, but people are reticent to run, they're reticent to commit.
I do believe COVID's a piece, I mean, even for myself, just trying to recruit this, like, it was difficult. I don't know if some people are just used to being home and the thought of moving to Thompson at this point, like, just people aren't used to being up and free and moving around. I don't know, but I've never, and it's not that I don't believe there's like a huge shortage of teachers out there. I mean, universities were still happening, but they were
Right.
people coming out of grad school, like, graduating with teaching degrees. I just, yeah. And I know that I was away in a few places this summer. I went to Fernie. They were saying like restaurants were half open because they just didn't have the staff. So this is happening all over.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was in Fernie.
Oh, were you? Huh. Oh, I would have bumped into you. I would have been super surprised. Yeah.
Fernie's a weird place for both of us to be
Yeah.
in.
And I've never been there. You?
Oh, yeah, my
Okay.
sister and brother-in-law have a cabin on the hill.
Okay.
Yeah, they bought
We're
it.
finding this out now?
Yeah, they bought it before it was big, so.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. If it's just that right now everyone's still, just that whole moving around and getting out and socializing and getting back involved in the community.
Yeah, it's awkward. It's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
It's kind of been a rough couple of years here too.
Title 64 and everything.
That's not the most fun I've ever had as a trustee.
The last couple of years were kind of sad. With that.
Well, then, your campaign with
Bill
64 and it'll be, we need to be able to say, yeah, there's a reason that we need school board
Exactly.
trustees, therefore there's a we need
Yeah.
people to run. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody put in so much effort to ensure that this stayed.
Right. And I remember making the argument that, like I said, the South may be apathetic, but we're not. We have a huge interest in our school boards in this district. So don't make a liar out of me, people.
Other news from MSBA, the fall general and regional meetings are planned to be in person for the first time in a couple of years. They're planning to hold them at the Victoria Inn and Convention Center in Winnipeg. One of the comments at today's chairs meeting was that they recognize that many boards, such as ours, repurposed their trustee travel budgets during COVID. And they recognize that those budgets may in fact not exist for many boards. And they are still considering how to make participation in both the fall convention and the AGM in March more equitable. From that, I'm assuming that they mean that they understand that somebody in Winnipeg doesn't have to spend very much to get to Winnipeg. So
Right.
I don't really know what they mean by that, but I hope they mean something. And yeah, because we basically cut back our trustee travel substantially in the last couple of budgets.
Carry forward was
Yeah, and that's it for MSBA, or at least from what I can remember. And with that, questions from the public? Public? Oh, sorry, I missed something?
committee reports.
Committee reports. Tiny little phone. Oh, I skipped a whole bunch of stuff. With that, committee reports. I suspect I know the answer on many of these, but let's start with policy committee.
Now I'm going to be making,
Yeah.
like, this.
Sure.
I think we still have one thing. There was something that's, but yeah, anyways, we'll make the
Education and programming.
video. We'll do that later.
Public relations.
Meeting to be determined.
And finance and property.
We had a meeting today at 4:30. Basically, I just want to reaffirm what Kelly already briefed everyone on the addition and renovation of the Artie Parker Collegiate with that rental project. It's divided into two different phases. Phase one would include the band room, the boiler replacement, and also the gym roof replacement of the gym, The other thing is we also were briefed by the facility manager, Oris, about the many summer project at all school and as well as the school board office. I believe 90% of the plant maintenance were done, which is really good, and the remaining 10% hopefully will be done within a year. IT department also had some major upgrades completed this summer with the help of the students. Then lastly, I just want to mention that we, in accordance with the Section 41(8) of the Public Schools Act and Administration Procedure 5.020, the school board shall appoint an auditor who shall carry out the duties of an auditor under the Act. The auditor will be appointed in September at the first regular meeting of the board, which is today. So the board, the recommendation is that the board appoint Baker Tilly HMA LLP, which is formerly known as Kendall Pandia, as the district auditors for the 2022-2023.
Second, please. Trustee Anderson.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. Anything else, Trustee Cripps?
No, I think that's all. And our next meeting, I believe, when's the next meeting, Kelly? In 1 month? October 11th? Yes, okay. Thank you. October 11th will be next finance meeting.
When is the election, the 24th?
26th, or
26.
26th. 25th is our last meeting on Tuesday, and then Wednesday is the election.
Okay.
November 8th will be the inaugural meeting.
Everybody practice their waves. In operation.
With that, trustee comments. Trustee Cripps?
Oh, first again. I want to encourage everyone out there to put your name forward, run for the school board trustee, as I am not running. So, but I do want to thank all the trustee members and superintendents and Kelly for helping me through the last 2 years. I was brought on as a by-election 2 years ago. It's a great experience, so please put your name forward.
I just wanted to welcome everyone back. Everybody was successful in the school year. And have fun with the school. Well, it's not free, she's not that way. You know what I mean.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. Just not let down our guard. COVID still is a thing, and enjoy it while we can. But please still practice safe procedures.
Just like to welcome everybody back. Have a safe year.
I think I'd just like to acknowledge what everyone went through over the last couple of years, both students, graduating students, and our staff and the families of all those concerned. Certainly hope we're in for a much more normal year. I think everyone's ready for it, and really hoping that this year's class of students gets to experience all the opportunities that we normally get to experience in the school district. And so best wishes to everyone for all of that. And I'll also throw in, yes, if you're thinking about running, please do.
I'd just like to reiterate what everyone has said in terms of having a great year. Welcome back. Stay safe. COVID's not gone. And certainly we're looking for trustees. I really encourage young Indigenous women. That's, that's the feminist side of Westwood. If you have any questions, please feel free to connect with me. If you're scared of campaigning, I can help you. I know a couple of tricks. And I'd just like to encourage everyone to really drive safely around the schools, to slow down. Now that the tiny little ones and the teenagers with the headphones are on, teenagers with the headphones on are walking along, just drive carefully around the school zones. Thanks.
And Deerwood's got some heavy construction going on in that area right now, so it's
Yeah.
doing all the water and sewer in the area, so there's some, there,
Extra
it's
bad.
bottlenecked and there's some big equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
So just a,
From almost
Very
every
careful.
direction of approach.
yeah, yeah.
And with that, deja vu all over again. Any questions from our public?
No, it's just nice to start the year so far normal. So it's
Mhm.
good to see it every year, and it's hopefully, if our fingers crossed, the rest of the year will be like this.
Sure.
And with that, can I get a motion to move in camera in 10 minutes, please?
Oh, no.
Trustee Anderson? Trustee Cripps? All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.